interesting points, and I was just coming to that. I always tell people, don't judge a government by its utterances. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. You know, actions speak louder than words. And if indeed actions speak louder than words, Abhishek, then your audience needs to hear this in 20 seconds. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, 31% is allocated to minorities, largely Muslims. 33% of PM Kisan Yojana is allocated to minorities, especially Muslims. 34% of Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Yojana allocated largely to minorities, again, particularly Muslims. 36% of Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana allocated to minorities, especially Muslims, and 37% of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana also allocated to minorities, particularly Muslims, under the inclusive Modi government. तो यहाँ बैठकर यदि कोई सर्टिफिकेट बांटना चाहता है, oh, Narendra Modi government is exclusionary, oh, Narendra Modi government has bigotry as one of its cornerstones, please, we don't need your certificates, because our model of development has been inclusive. और इसका सबसे बड़ा उदाहरण in 10 seconds is 2019. 22 to 23 Muslim nations had also declared instant triple talaq illegal, and the Indian dispensation had to wait for almost 70 years to declare instant triple talaq illegal. It happened thanks to one man, and that man is Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Sanju, I think, I think we're going ahead of the conversation. I would come to the triple talaq debate, and which is integral to this relationship of BJP with the Muslim community. But Tausif, what more you need by way of evidence beyond the numbers that Sanju Verma gave of, you know, the Modi government being absolutely non-discriminatory? When it says Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, the Prime Minister actually practices it.
You see, when there are so many leaders who don't follow the Prime Minister, then it effectively makes no meaning, you know. And you see, it's not the question is not so much about whether Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is practiced, but also about how arrogant this government is. And in spite of facing a defeat, you know, BJP on its own could not cross the majority mark, despite the Prime Minister claiming to bring 400 seats.
Again, sorry to be interjecting you,
Tausif,
I just want clarification. Are you saying that governance, neutrality of governance, non-discriminatory governance does not matter? It's just about arrogance?
No, it's all about lip service. Well,
no, but I asked you a question. Sanju Verma gave numbers. Are you disputing the numbers? The numbers are there.
I am also giving you the hard facts. You see, for example, let us take this recent example of UP government's diktat that the the name plate should be displayed by all the fruit sellers, vegetable sellers, all vendors, all restaurant owners. So there is a NDA alliance, there are LJP, there is RLD, there is JDU. The NDA alliance partners, they are criticizing this, they are opposing this, they are calling for a rollback of this decision, saying that this is a decision in haste. So why did BJP not consult the alliance partner? You know, the Kanwar Yatra is not taken out only in Uttar Pradesh, only in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and neither BJP is limited only to Uttar Pradesh. BJP government is across the country. Kanwar Yatra is taken out across the country. For example, your own NDA alliance partner from Bihar is saying that biggest Kanwar Yatra is taken out there, and they are opposing such a move. Because this movie
Sorry to be interjecting again, Tausif, but you deflected the question I asked, Tausif. I'll come to, again, like Sanju did in the case of triple talaq, you in the case of Kanwar Yatra, sort of jumping the gun on the debate we are going to have. And I'll include the Kanwar Yatra issue, but answer the facts, answer on facts. Do you agree or not that the Modi government in the last 10 years has been absolutely non-discriminatory when it comes to delivering on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, absolutely inclusivist when it comes to giving the Ujjwala Yojana cylinders, absolutely no discrimination when it comes to free ration, when it comes to the toilets given to the women, to the electricity connections? Do you agree that much?
No, not at all. I do not agree. The Prime Minister, by his conduct, has been
Why don't you agree?
absolutely
These are numbers
discriminatory.
not
And I'm telling
disputed
you,
by
no,
anyone.
it is not only about numbers.
These numbers were not
Numbers
disputed
are on
even by the
paper.
Congress party during elections.
Numbers are on paper. There's a saying in Hindi, that what you do actually matters than what you say. So the Prime Minister never never speaks a word when a Muslim man is.
Are you sure what you are saying? Do you believe in what you are saying? You are saying what you do matters, not what you say. But you seem to be doing the absolute reverse of this. What you are saying is that what you do matters, what you say does not matter. But actually you are giving precedence to what the Prime Minister says because you say he's arrogant or the government is arrogant and not able to dispute the numbers on facts. This is what the Modi government has done. These numbers are proof of what they have done to the minorities or the Muslim community.
Exactly.
No. Modi government Prime Minister did not speak when Bilkis Bano was released. Prime Minister did not speak when Pehlu Khan was being lynched. And lynching is normal now. Every now and then, every week in one state or the other, Muslim man is being lynched in the name of theft, in the name of cow smuggling, and in the name of whatever they feel like. But not a
Sanju, hold on. This is exactly not the debate I wanted. Sanju, please hold on.
Who was paraded naked in Bengal.
Sanju, hold on. Tausif, listen. You see, for every Pehlu Khan, there is Umesh Kole. For every Akhlaq, there is Kanwar Yatra.
No.
So let's not get there. Let's not get there. Tausif, no. Let me structure this conversation. You are sort of trying to derail it. I am having a very important conversation which affects India's social fabric. And let's go facts for fact. Huh? So you are not able to dispute the numbers, so you are sort of digressing, saying arrogance, saying, Pehlu Khan.
Not verified.
And on the issue of Kanwar Yatra, I'll come. You have maybe a valid point there, but I'll come to that. Okay, let me get others. Ahmad Ayaz, is this issue essentially about BJP being seen as communal? So irrespective of what the Modi government does, what the BJP does, in terms of absolutely clear, secular, non-discriminatory government, you are not going to do business with them because for you, they are a communal party. Ahmad Ayaz.
Absolutely. There is nothing, absolutely, there is nothing as such which we can say that the government by the BJP has particularly done good for Muslims, as Sanju Varma was saying, giving the numbers. That see what she said is, these are the schemes which are meant for general minorities. And when we say particularly that there is an anti-Muslim, stance by the BJP, well, that can't be denied because you see that right from the beginning of the BJP having taken over the government, they have always tried to target and to appease Hindus at the cost of Muslims in general. And if you say that,
but why are you not ready to be appeased? You have all the gas cylinders, you have all the free ration, you have all the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. That's what BJP is showing. Please get appeased. What more do you need to get appeased?
No, it's not only. This is not. That's what I was talking to you. It's not only meant for.
Okay, Shalini wants to get it. Shalini Ali wants to get it. Shalini Ali, what more could have been done? Shalini Ali, what more could have been done? As a Muslim who is pro-BJP, please tell us.
Person who's working, I am working with the grassroots level of the Muslim society today, and I've been working since the past 13 years. I'd like to put in across a few points. Firstly, charity begins at home. What are the Muslims doing for themselves? What about the zakat and what about the waqf lands which are being taken in by thugs in the state of UP and other states in this country? And more so, when you're being treated as an equal by the Prime Minister, there has been no way where Salim has not received a gas and where Sanjay has not received a gas, where Farida has got her name on her ration card and where Seema has received her name as a ration card. As a matter of fact, this government has made it a point to make every girl, every woman in this nation stand up. There were days when women were kept inside the houses. Today they are coming out, they are studying, they are going to schools, they are secured. They know they can go to the courts to fight for their own rights. I mean, come on, what has the All India Muslim Personal Law Board done for Muslims themselves?
Shalini,
they've not done anything.
Shalini
Today,
Ali.
when you are talking about Kanwar Yatra, I would like to bring upon that just yesterday we had a meeting of over 100 of members of Muslim Rashtriya Manch. And we, as citizens of this country, have totally, wholeheartedly supported this decision. Why is there a fear in putting down your name outside as the proprietor? Now, the Kanwar Yatra, as we all know, it is something which is for the religious sentiment.
Okay.
If tomorrow a person is going for a religious place and he doesn't want to go to a Muslim restaurant where non-veg is being served, what is wrong? Where is the Ganga Jamuna Tehzeeb gone of this country? I mean, come on, which Muslim has come forward, filed any request that they should be taken apart?
Okay,
Only these different kind of human beings who belong to different religious parties who are making a hue and cry.
Okay, Shalini,
there has been no issue anywhere.
Okay, some facts, because Kanwar Yatra issue was brought in by Tausif. Tausif, the law and the rules under which the Yogi government has passed this order came both during the Congress-led UPA government in 2005 and 2009. Now, it's up to the states to whether implement them or not implement them, or if they have to implement them, to what scale. It's absolutely within the ambit of law, number one. Number two, both the rules and the laws were framed during the Congress government of the UPA. But Yuvraj Pushkarna, let me get him. Yuvraj Pushkarna.
No, I don't agree. It is not within the ambit of law. That's wrong to say. You see, by passing this kind of law, a vendor, you are forcing the vendor to affix his or her nameplate, or even a fruit seller. In a commercial space, you are taking away, you are not giving him a level playing field. When you know that there is a
Abhishek,
it is a
it's a law.
discriminatory.
It's a law which applies to all communities. If it is not targeted at Muslims.
Lame argument. I need to rebut this extremely illogical argument.
Okay, Sanju, quickly, because I have to get Yuvraj also. Tausif, you made your point. Let Sanju respond, because this law is not specific or targeted to minorities or to any community. It is a general mandate for everyone there along the Yatra route. Sanju.
This law is illegal.
Please now, Tausif, I did not interject you.
Okay, Sanju, respond whether this law is illegal or legal.
First of all, this is not.
Can I please? I don't want this background music.
No, okay.
I did not interject him.
Okay, let's go forward. Sanju, respond, then I go to Tausif again. Sanju, respond, then I go to Tausif again.
Yes, Abhishek, I will make three very quick points and I don't want to be interjected. First and foremost, as Abhishek rightly said, be it the Shop and Establishment Act of 1948, be it the Consumer Protection Act of 1986, or be it the Shop and Establishment Act and the Food Processing Act of 2006 in Uttar Pradesh in particular, which was implemented in 2011 when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister and Maulana Mulayam Yadav was the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Nobody had a problem. Suddenly in 2024, everybody has started having a problem with a law that is more than 10, 15 or 20 years old. Point number one. Point number two, if you have a problem with the owners or their employees' name being showcased publicly on the board saying कि ये अनमोल फ्रूट वाला नहीं है, ये वैष्णो देवी का ढाबा नहीं है, ये माता रानी का ढाबा नहीं है, ये जगन्नाथ मिठाई वाला नहीं है, दिस इज सुलेमान मिठाई वाला और रकीबुल फूल वाला और रशीद मिठाई वाला और सुलेमान सब्जी वाला. Why should you have a problem?
Okay, I tell you, Sanju, let me interject you on this.
Deceive.
Okay, let me interject you on this.
Why should a certain community deceive? Why should a certain community mislead?
Sanju, let me interject you on this.
Last point. Should Abhishek Kapoor sit on this show and say मैं Abhishek Kapoor नहीं Abhishek Khan हूँ, और Mr. Pokharna says मैं युवराज Pokharna नहीं मैं युवराज शर्मा हूँ, और Tausif says I'm not Tausif, I am Shailendra Singh. ऐसा कैसे चलेगा? There's a lot in a name and don't try to deflect. पहले हलाल को condemn करो. If you have
okay, no, Sanju, this argument of yours.
आपने तौसीफ की घर वापसी करा दी.
Okay, Sanju, this argument of yours can cut other way also. So you have Soumitra Khan in Bengal, right? And the BJP and RSS family generally loves the syncretic way of Islam as it is practiced in Indonesia, for example, where people can have very Hindu-sounding names and still practice Islam, or vice versa. But I have to ask you something. Isn't this provocative? If you actually want to make an outreach to the Muslim community, as has been done by the Prime Minister so many times, other BJP governments are not doing it. It's only being done in UP. So at some level, it seems to be provocative, right?
Abhishek, that's a very interesting question. On a more serious note, I'm not here to do any ghar wapsi of Tausif from being Tausif to Shailendra Singh. But that was said on a lighter note. On a more serious note, I just have this to say, Abhishek. Large parts of Western Uttar Pradesh, this is where the Kanwar Yatra largely proceeds from. Parts of Madhya Pradesh and Uttarakhand are also involved. And my simple logic is this: यदि हम पूरे भारत में लागू करेंगे, you will have a problem. Now that it is applicable in Western Uttar Pradesh, large parts of Uttarakhand and maybe Madhya Pradesh in the next 48 hours, आपको उसमें दिक्कत है. This is not unconstitutional because hijab के time आप कहते हो, hijab is my identity. But इस दौरान आप कहते हो, why should my identity be made public? You can't have your cake and eat it too. मतलब हिजाब का benefit भी चाहिए, अल्लाह अकबर बोल के.
Okay, that's a very valid argument. That's a very valid argument. But before, that's a very valid argument, and I'll take that. Sanju, okay, we made a point. I'll take that to both Ahmad Ayaz and Tausif. But before that, let me get in Yuvraj, because I have not been able to get him in the conversation, and we have been debating this for 15 minutes and more. Yuvraj, you think that this is about perception, actually? Tausif is not going to dispute the numbers, obviously, because he can't. These are real numbers. So it is about the BJP being seen as anti-Muslims. The BJP picks up the issue of triple talaq, which is seen as interference in the internal mechanisms or workings of the religion itself. And this whole thing about very polarized politics where BJP is seen as a Hindu force. And that's why, because of that perception, irrespective of what the BJP actually delivers, even if it's better than the Congress party, the Muslims are not going to vote for them.
See, Abhishek, it's not about what Congress or BJP says, but it is about the India Alliance indulging in the politics of rhetorics. And on the other hand, we have Narendra Modi-led BJP, which is dealing with hard facts, numbers, and deliverables. Till date, so far, Indian politics had been hovering about the secularism, the phony secularism, which was a variant of Nehruvian secularism, which is nothing but appeasing Muslims and nothing about. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So it was about that. And now came in BJP, which believes in true pluralism. Just bear with me for 20 seconds. We have Yogi Adityanath. The government brought in two orders. One, to lower down the decibel of speakers. Second, to display the name of the shop owners. This order was not only meant for Muslims or Christians, it was germane to Hindus, Sikhs, Jain, Baudh, Parsis. Muslims and each and every one, but there's only one commune who is making a UN cry about it. And guess which is the commune? Tausif bhai, just give me 10 seconds more. मैं इतना ही आपको बोलूंगा. You need to learn the true definition of secularism.
Okay.
अगर एक प्लेन में मैं अल्लाह अकबर बोलूंगा तो क्या रिएक्शन होगा? You know it. और मैं जय श्री राम बोलूंगा तो क्या रिएक्शन होगा? You know it.
Okay.
So better be in hands. The government is as secular as it can.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Now, Sanju, through that question, I find it interesting. So I want to give it to either Ahmad Ayaz or Tausif. Let me give it to Ahmad Ayaz, actually. Ahmad Ayaz, this point that Sanju made, I found it interesting. That when it comes to hijab, you want a public display of it because that's your identity and you want to flaunt it, you are comfortable with it. But when it comes to the Shop Establishment Act, you don't want your identity to come out. There is some double standard, right?
Sanju perhaps does not know that hijab is not for displaying in the public. It is not that, absolutely. It is, we Muslims are supposed to be in pardas. Well, the situation has changed now that it's not that we sit only confine ourselves in the houses and be in pardas. We go out, but we need not to be open,
So
and we have to cover ourselves. It's not that what Sanju Verma said. No, I'm going for a larger point. I'm going for a larger point.
Shalini, let him complete. Shalini, I'll come to you. Let him complete. Shalini, I'll come.
There have been many governments. There have been many governments from time to time, and there was never a stage where Muslims have felt isolated or Muslims have felt that they are being targeted unnecessarily. You see, the point is that there is an issue which is mostly being raised as Hindu Rashtra. Why should Hindu Rashtra be talked in a secular country where Muslims also are living, where Christians also are there, where so many other communities are also there?
The BJP has never said Hindu Rashtra.
There are
no, Ahmad Ayaz, BJP, the RSS might say it, but the BJP officially never has said Hindu Rashtra. It was not there in the manifesto.
RSS has always specified about the Hindu
Rashtra. But it is
RSS yes, but not the BJP. But Shalini Ali, on the issue of hijab as identity versus not showing identity in the shop, under the shop establishments.
It's double standards. It's basically double standards. It has been pushed aside by religious parties for the simple reason that you want the hijab, the girls to wear hijabs, to go to school and give their exams, even though there are countries that are following the Shariat law who have stopped. They have banned the hijab. Yes, much so even in Saudi Arabia, girls are not allowed to wear hijabs in classroom. Now today, when we are talking about the names of all vendors, whether they are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh or Isai, if their names are being put across, what is the harm in it? Today, when we are asking all our Muslim brothers and sisters to come forward, today when we are asking them to follow the law the way it is supposed to be, today when we are asking them to respect the religious sentiments, why not? And also, most importantly, the religious sentiments for each and everyone has always been followed in this country. Now, when it comes to RSS saying that it's a Hindu Rashtra, they also have specified that Hindu Rashtra is not possible without the Muslims of this country. If you look at the RSS, they have been talking about nationalism for each and every citizen of this country, each and every national of this country. So please do not take Hindu Rashtra only for Hindus.
No,
if you go back to Dr. Mohan Bhagwat's statement saying
no, listen. I don't want to get this debate derailed. I want to come back to where I began. And I'll come to you, Sanju, but I want to go to Tausif. Tausif, I've come a little prepared, and this is something which really interests me a lot. As a journalist, you are an observer of the society, its everyday functionings, workings, and you are essentially, as they say, as a journalist, you are writing the first draft of history and you are observing what's happening right down to the last detail. If you have a good eye, that is, and I think I have. So, during the elections, I spotted this story, and what happens? Generally, I have seen the language press, which is sometimes with some, contempt called the vernacular press. They do better job of profiling what's happening in the country and society than the English press. Now, I'm quoting to you a report from Ahmedabad. The headline says, "Bimar Rubina ko pati ne choda, tab Ayushman Yojana ne diya Navjivan." This is about Rubina in a locality of Ahmedabad, where almost the entire vote has gone to the Congress party. And Rubina in this story is actually narrating how she benefited from the Ayushman Yojana. Tausif, also I have another report, which is from the district of Bahraich in Uttar Pradesh. There, in this block, which is a Muslim majority block in the district, there was a target of giving 39,068 homes to the poor Muslims, against which, in the 5-year period, 38,858 poor Muslim families got the homes, and there are at least 3 families quoted in this report, which means the strike rate of the government in terms of delivering to a Muslim majority block in Bahraich district of Uttar Pradesh is almost 95%. Is this not good governance? Should it not be a factor when Muslims go to vote and decide and vote?
You see, government has, hundreds of responsibilities and hundreds of duties that they must fulfill. And out of those 100, these welfare schemes are some of them. You're right. If they have performed well, if they've reached the 95% target, kudos to them. But why is our Prime Minister silent in a public platform? Why is our Prime Minister not
Because his work is doing the
up
talking, Tawseef. Because his work is doing the talking.
Because they are doing appeasement politics. They want to gather.
Okay, so he has appeased the Muslim community in this block of Bahraich. Has he not appeased the Muslim community? Is Rubina not appeased? Why is she not appeased is my question.
10 seconds. Also, I would like to comment, since Sanju talked about name and
again you are digressing from the point I am making.
No, not digressing. You allowed her a good 30 seconds to speak. So she commented that I can change my name. Tausif Ahmed Khan should be something else. So I also have suggestion on a lighter note, because she spoke on lighter note, Sanju. The name Sanju is not feminist at all. Maybe you can consider changing your name to a little more feminist.
Sanju, last word to you. I have only 30 seconds. Last word to you, 30 seconds before I wrap up the debate for the second one. Sanju, last 30 seconds.
Let me come in here. Okay,
last 30
seconds. I heard you. I did not take offense to what you said. I made a very thick skin. But let me just say one thing to you. First point is this, that the Kanwar Yatra diktat is absolutely legal. It is within the ambit of Article 17 of the Constitution. It is within the ambit of the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Second point, nobody has a problem buying food or mithai from a Muslim vendor. If we had a problem, we are a Hindu majority country. आज सबसे ज़्यादा बिकने वाला summer drink during summers is Rooh Afza, which is owned by Hamdard, which is owned by Muslims, and I love Rooh Afza. But the problem is कि आप हो सुलेमान, आप शैलेंद्र लिखते हो, आप हो रकीबुल, आप लिखते हो मैं राजा हूँ, आप लिखते हो मुन्ना, but हो मोहम्मद, आप लिखते हो मैं शालिनी हूँ.
Okay, Sanju.
Don't deceive. Don't deceive and don't mislead. My last point.
Abhishek, you have been unfair to me.
No, Sanju. You are being baited. You are being baited and you're biting.
I don't want to offer water to my gods, which has been urinated upon or spat into.
Sanju, you are being baited and you are biting into the bait. That was not the conversation.
Hygiene
fair enough. I think. Fair enough. I think maybe. Okay, Sanju. You see, maybe the BJP perhaps needs to communicate better. Maybe it needs to make a more direct outreach to the Muslim street, the Muslim masses directly, rather than through stump speeches. Maybe then things might change. I don't know. But then this is a conversation we'll keep having. Thank you so much for joining us, all the guests there on the panel, Sanju Verma, Shalini Ali. We have Yuvraj, Tawseef and Ahmed Ayaz. And as India comes down to the highly anticipated 2024 budget, the big question on everybody's mind is, what kind of plan does the centre have for the economy? Are we looking at the robust growth or worrisome inflation? We debate after this break.
In the India Today Best Universities 2023 survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
Hotel Management with AI. Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
Welcome back, friends. Tomorrow, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will table the annual economic survey on the floors of both the houses in Parliament. It's a custom, a ritual on the calendar of the government. The economic survey presents a scan of the economy of the country, where we stand, what's going good, what is an area of concern, and the challenges, among others. The budget cycle comes only days after the International Monetary Fund marked out India as a bright spot in the global economic growth scene. There would be usual questions about what's in it for me as a common citizen. Then there are political questions. Resource allocation, after all, is a political exercise. Questions like what the Modi government could have done by way of announcements during the vote on account ahead of elections itself, which in turn might have added to BJP's tally of Lok Sabha seats. If there was something up Finance Minister's sleeves, why did she not use it to bolster the party's prospects? Conversely, if there was nothing then, what new can be added now to the budget? Let's discuss that. I am heading straight into the conversation with our guest joining in, Ashwini Mahajan, economist. He's also a professor, and he's also part of the Swadeshi Jagran Manch. So obviously from the RSS family, he leans towards the right. He's joining us live from Delhi. We also have Kishore Subramaniam, financial analyst, live from Chennai. He also leans towards the right. And then we have Akhil Swami, political analyst. He's pro-Congress, voice on the panel. So let me begin with you, Akhil Swami. It's about the economic survey, not the budget. And by and large, if you look at all the indication that's coming in from organizations like the IMF, from the RBI, the economy seems evenly poised. What, according to you, are areas of concern?
See, the first question is as to what will be there in the economic survey. We know that what the finance minister and what the economic survey will say, they will say economy is in very good shape, everything is in order, highest growing economy in the world. And if IMF, what they say that India is the bright spot, then why don't you give the MSP to the farmers? Doesn't the government give jobs to the students and the youth in the government sector? Why they are not recruiting? Why they are trying to save money by saving the gratuity and the retirement pension benefits to the army personnel? So
okay.
The basic question, the fact remains. What is the fact? Fact is, there is a concept like DSCR in financial management, debt service coverage ratio. If your economy is growing at the same rate which was growing from 2004 to 14, and your debts have increased by 3 times, you are in a debt trap.
Okay, fair enough. So you raised 2 issues. I think you jump from economy to political economy. I have come prepared, Akhil Swami, and I understand some economics. So on the issue of MSP, for example, the total value of agriculture and allied output in India is about rupees 56 lakh crores, of which livestock alone is about 31%, 18.5 lakh crores. Second highest is fruits and vegetables at about 14 lakh crores. Food grains, which is the issue where MSP comes in, is only 17% at 9.5 lakh crores. And of this, the government of India, through its Food Corporation of India, procures almost 90% of the food grains in Punjab and Haryana. So I think there is already 100% MSP. It's only politicking that's happening, number one. About the debt to GDP ratio, I'll come to that in a bit. But let me get in others also involved. Ashwini Mahajan, though you are part of the right-leaning ecosystem, but I think as Swadeshi Jagran Manch, you also have some concerns. Please share with us.
As such, I don't think any concerns per se, but so far as the economy is concerned and the economic survey which is going to come in the next tomorrow, I think as Akhil Swamiji is also saying that the government is going to say good, but definitely the economy is doing good, so they are saying good. So these are real numbers, 8.2% growth. CAD is now turned into CAS. as now we have current account plus, and even the other deficit, the fiscal deficit, which we generally are concerned for inflation, is also within the limits, and the government had, the government's estimate was that 23-24 fiscal deficit would be 5.9%. I think it is going to be somewhere between 5.5%, 5.6%. This we, instead of raising or hiking the fiscal deficit in this year, the government has been able to manage its finances better, and also the fact that there are so far as the revenues are concerned, despite the fact that the nominal GDP has not grown on the same rate because of the lower GDP deflator.
Right.
So despite that, the government revenue is coming up very well. GST is up by 11%. Corporate income tax is up by nearly 20%. Personal income tax is up by 25% as compared to the previous year. So the economy and the government finances and the overall fundamentals are very well in shape.
Right.
And now the government can ride on the policies which they have been. You said that, yes, this government in the past also we have seen they are not concerned about the populist policies which previous governments had been adopting.
Right.
So instead of populist, and that has given a dividend also to the economy. If you are not populist, if you are not giving too many freebies, obviously the economy will be benefited. You will have more infrastructure. You can manage your poor better. You can give them food. You can give them houses. You can give them other amenities, and that has actually led to the reduction in the multidimensional poverty, which is very well evident.
Right.
So I think the government will now ride on the path of investment, and they should now go for more and more of private investment, and also especially I would say that keeping an eye on employment as well.
Okay, fair enough. Of course, that's a big area of concern. In fact, I thought you would have begun with that because jobs is an issue which we keep hearing, as also inflation, Kishore Subramaniam. This growth versus inflation conundrum. I mean, despite best of efforts of the RBI on the monetary policy side, inflation is sort of sticky. In fact, it has shown a little bit of a markup last month at 5.1%. Also, more concerningly, the greater part of inflation is in the food inflation, not the non-food, non-fuel inflation, but the food inflation, which is something which impacts the masses. So on the fiscal side, on the government side, what can be done? What do you expect the economic survey to say on the inflation management side?
Okay, so good evening to my panelists. The first point I would like to say that on the food inflation side, yes, it is a sticky point and government will not be able to reduce the rate. As in RBI will not be able to go down softening his repo or a reverse repo at any given point of time until and unless the food inflation cools down. But let's not forget that this RBI as a board has done wonderfully well to keep the inflation under moderate rate. World over, it's a high inflation
But
rate.
now what can the North Bloc do? RBI has done what it could. What can the North Bloc do? What can the finance minister and her team do?
What can the North Bloc do? I'm coming there. See, day after tomorrow in the budget, what the common man, the middle class is expecting is some leeway, some money back into its purse. There are three things which are important. One, the GST collections have been consistently high. We are ranging between 1.72 to 2 lakh crores, which is phenomenal. The direct tax collection has gone up. The corporate tax collection has gone up. And we have an economy which is the fastest growing in the world, 7% plus.
It does not help inflation. Kishore, it does not help inflation.
No, see, you understand.
How does it make my tomato cheaper? How does it make my onion cheaper?
Tomato cheaper. But please understand, growth comes with inflation. You can't have 1% inflation and 8% growth.
But then increased inflation comes with you losing the votes. I mean, that seems to be happening.
Okay, so let me answer you that. When you develop and invest 11 lakh crore on capex infrastructure, your vote infrastructure does break. It is a balance you will have to bring back. I know that this is an election where the BJP could not get the majority. And as our panelist who is pro-Congress did say, that what happened to the farm loan waiver, what happened to MSP. See, this socialist policies being wrapped and populist measure is not going to do good for the country. We need a balance. I surely agree for one thing, not for votes, but because the collection on direct tax, corporate tax, and robust GST, which is the unified tax, we need to put back some money into the common man's purse in terms of standard deduction, in terms of taxation slabs, and probably SOPs for startups, fintechs, and other areas, which will drive consumption. Remember, if consumption is driven again, and we are at the peak, we are in a unique position where real estate is at its peak, gold is at its peak, stock market is at its peak, GDP is superb, and CAD has converted to CAS. This is a ratio. And let's not forget.
But that could be because of global factors, actually. You see, the current account deficit has turned into a surplus because obviously the world is not asking much from us. And that is the reason perhaps it's happening like that.
Yeah, you're correct. You're partially correct. But let's also understand certain basic facts. When the opposition asks about unemployment, let's talk about the female labor force participation. That has gone up. The gross enrollment ratio for female has gone up in education and higher education. So in both the numbers of gross enrollment of female in education and the labor force participation and multi-dimensional poverty in the last 25 years, we are at the lowest point. Tell me an economy where the GDP is 7%, inflation is moderate, current account deficit is converted into cash. We are the youngest country for the next 50 years in terms of demography. That dividend is going to pay up. 11 lakh crores of budget, GST going up, and on an economic highway with a stable government, though the opposition wants to cry wolf every time. I seriously believe some dose of populism is important.
Okay, fair enough. So, Akhil Swami, you mentioned about the other issue you mentioned about was the debt to GDP ratio. Just to give you an idea, India's debt is about 2.5, 2.8 trillion, which is about 60% of the GDP. So the debt to GDP ratio is about 60%. Now, just to give you a comparative picture, Japan has $10 trillion of debt. Its GDP is about $4.5 trillion, so more than 200%. United States has a GDP of about $25 trillion. Their debt is about $33 trillion. Even the Chinese, for example, they have their GDP at about $18 trillion. Their debt is $14 trillion, so about 80-90%. So I think, while, of course, as per the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the debt to GDP ratio should be 40 or below. We are at 60, but you look at the world scenario, so we're not doing bad. Akhil Swami, any other Congress-leaning concerns that you have that you think should get reflected?
See, I have a problem when the rightists have a issue when we talk of giving anything to the poor. They are always in favor of the rich. What you said, I never talked about debt equity ratio. I talked about DSCR. Debt service coverage ratio. Debt service coverage ratio means that if my income is 1 lakh, I don't have a debt, I take a loan of 1 crore, I have to pay the interest and principal of that. That means my income should go up to 2 lakhs. If I take a loan of 5 crores, my income should go to 10 lakhs so that I can pay interest and principal. I was talking about DSCR. Now, the point is, if your GDP has grown from 6.8% to 7.2%, that means you are taking loans to repay loans.
Who said
Next
that?
thing is that
who said that?
You are very happy.
What is that? What is that explanation?
1 minute.
If you are growing more, you have more money.
You are very
you
happy.
take less loan.
You
In
are
fact,
very
the government's borrowing has decreased, Akhil Swami. Please get your facts right.
The fact is that you are very happy that the GST is growing. GST is growing because you are squeezing the poor. You are collecting GST from the poor, and the corporate taxes you have reduced.
Again, factually wrong.
Gentlemen,
The government
GST
is
for
anti-farmer.
everybody.
Again, factually wrong. Perhaps that's factually wrong, Akhil Swami. But then yes, there are concerns about GST or lack of clarity on the manner in which the GST pans out, particularly for the poor. I think it's not right for you to say that the GST is a tax on the poor. It pans out in a very secular manner across the economic strata. And in fact, for poor, for most of the articles consumed by the poor, it's almost 0 or 5. But I think there is an issue which needs a little more clarity. But remember, again, GST is not a budget issue, Akhil Swami. GST is something which goes to the GST Council, which is a federal body. Okay, on that note, I have run out of time. But then remember, over the next 2 days, we are going to continue our focus on programming around the budget. Tomorrow, of course, is the economic survey, and day after tomorrow is the budget. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., join Arnab Goswami for good 2 hours of conversation on India's economy, growth, and of course the budget. Thank you so much for watching.
বাংলাদেশের বর্তমান পরিস্থিতি যদি আমরা দেখি, বাংলাদেশে এখন মনে হয় না কোনো মুক্তিযুদ্ধের ছেলেমেয়ে চাকরি করার বয়সে আছে। তো অলরেডি যেহেতু এক জেনারেশন সুবিধা পাইছেই, সেহেতু আমরা মনে করি নাতিদের সুবিধা পাওয়ার দরকার আছে। কেন দরকার নাই? কারণ আমি যদি মুক্তিযুদ্ধ করি, আমার ক্ষতির কারণে হয়তো আমার ছেলে মেয়ে ইফেক্টেড হবে, নট তার নাতিপুতি। এজন্য মুক্তিযুদ্ধের একটা জেনারেশনকে যেহেতু সুবিধা দেওয়া যায় এবং যেহেতু দেওয়া হয়েছে, এজন্য আমরা এটার বিরুদ্ধে প্রতিরোধ করছি, আর দেওয়া যাবে না। এবং আমরা কিন্তু কোটা সম্পূর্ণ বাদ দেওয়ার কথা বলতেছি না, আমরা বলতেছি সংস্কারের কথা।
हमने डिटेल में सारा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के फ्लोर लीडर से उनका मत को लिया, सुझाव को लिया, हमने नोट किया और आग्रह भी किया कि हम मिल के बजट सेशन को अच्छी तरह से हम चलाएंगे।
Key issues raised across the parties in the all-party meeting. The countdown to Budget 2024 begins.
Rahul Gandhi has not even apparently read even the foreword and the preface of the constitution copy published by the EBC, which he waives.
BJP's Anurag Thakur launches a fiery attack on Rahul Gandhi. States Congress party not only changed the constitution but arrested the entire opposition. Bangladesh top court orders 93% of the government jobs to be allocated on a merit-based system after street protest. Bangladesh Law Minister Anisul Haq speaks to Republic TV exclusively on the Supreme Court's decision to scale back the quotas in government jobs. NTA releases center-wise data on NEET. Over 4,000 students scored 600 and above in Rajasthan's Sikar. Nipah virus returns to Kerala. 14-year-old from Malappuram dies hours after testing positive. Samajwadi Party raises Kanwar Yatra diktat by Yogi Adityanath government at the all-party meeting in New Delhi. Objects to the display of name of owners along the Kanwar Yatra route. Now, ahead of the inaugural general budget of Modi Sarkar 3.0, the leaders of the NDA and the opposition came together for an all-party meeting in the national capital. Several key issues were raised by all the parties. The TMC, however, skipped this meeting. The Congress demanded the deputy speaker post, while there were demands of special status for various states. Here's a report.
The ruling alliance and the opposition parties came together for an all-party meeting ahead of the presentation of the union budget. While 55 leaders from 44 parties attended the meeting, the TMC was conspicuous by its absence. The meeting was chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and also featured BJP heavyweights JP Nadda, Kiren Rijiju and Arjun Ram Meghwal. Addressing the media after the meeting, Rijiju said that the talks went off well and Centre took note of the suggestions of the opposition.
55 कुल मिलाकर के लीडर्स का आज बैठक हुई. हमने डिटेल में सारा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के फ्लोर लीडर से उनका मत को लिया, सुझाव को लिया, हमने नोट किया और आग्रह भी किया कि हम मिलके बजट सेशन को अच्छी तरह से हम चलाएंगे और सबका मेंबर्स का बहुत सारा विषय इन्होंने सजेशन किया है. हम उसका सेंस को समझते हुए राज्यसभा में आदरणीय चेयरमैन और लोकसभा में आदरणीय स्पीकर दोनों से चर्चा करके बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी के बैठक में हम इसको आगे कैसे ले जाना है आगे चर्चा करेंगे.
However, striking an unpleasant note, the Congress demanded that the post of Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha should go to the opposition.
ये गवर्नमेंट हमेशा अपोजिशन को निगलेक्ट करते ही आई और अच्छी बात रखने के लिए कभी मौका नहीं दिया और जो जनता के तकलीफात है वो अगर पार्लियामेंट में हो राज्यसभा में रखना चाहते हैं तो उसको कभी मौका नहीं मिलता क्योंकि सरकार वो नहीं चाहती कि उनके जो फेल्यूअर्स है लोगों को मालूम हो तो इसीलिए वो लोग मौका नहीं देते और खुद ये सारी चीज़ें तय करती है गवर्नमेंट.
Ally Samajwadi Party also raised the vexed up government's diktat for the Kanwar Yatra that has evoked polarized views across the country. Shiromani Akali Dal MP Harsimrat Badal said the opposition also raised farmers' issues and floods at the meeting.
चाहे देश में फैलते हुए ड्रग्स का इशू है, पानी कहीं पे फ्लड हो रहा है, किसान का उसका नुकसान हो रहा है, कई पार्टियों का एक राज्य में पानी के मुद्दे को लेके कुछ बोलते हैं, साथ के राज्य में जाके जैसे हमारा SYL का मुद्दा है तो SYL चाहे कांग्रेस होए, चाहे बीजेपी होए, चाहे आम आदमी पार्टी होए, पंजाब में बोलते हैं कि पंजाब का पानी पंजाब में रहेगा, हरियाणा में हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जाते हैं तो मुद्दा का स्टैंड कुछ और हो जाता है और अदालत में कोई तीसरा स्टैंड है. सो ये एक बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा कि पानी का मुद्दा डिस्कस होना चाहिए ताकि सबका स्टैंड क्लियर हो और देशवासियों को पता लगे कि कौन सी पार्टी कहाँ पे खड़ी, ये दोगली राजनीति बंद होए.
While Rajnath urged parties across the aisle to enable a productive budget session of Parliament, there are fears that the appeal to the opposition to end its disruptive ploys may again fall on deaf ears.
Now, Lieutenant General Channira Bansi Ponappa, who is currently serving as the Adjutant General of the Indian Army, has stated that about 1 lakh Agniveers have been enrolled in the Army. The Lieutenant General said that the Agniveers are undertaking all the actions, operational and other professional duties, just like any other sepoys or sepoys recruits on the ground. Take a look at this report.
As you are aware that since June 22, scheme was launched, and then we had the first batch which was recruited and enrolled in December 22 onward, January 23, they entered the service. Approximately 1 lakh Agniveers have been enrolled in the army. Out of this also includes about 200 women. Approximately 70,000 have already been dispatched to the units, are performing extremely well in the battalions, and are deployed in various field and peace units out there. This includes about 100 women police also. Around 50,000 vacancies have been released in this year, 2024-25, and the recruitment process is ongoing as we speak. We are just finished with the online exam. The rallies are started and they are ongoing.
Now, the Nipah virus is back to haunt Kerala, viewers. And after the outbreak of the virus in Malappuram, Kerala Health Minister Veena George says that the state is fully prepared to tackle this issue. Now, this comes right after a 14-year-old boy tested positive for Nipah virus and then succumbed to this illness. Take a listen in.
It was 19th of May 2018 when the first case of Nipah virus broke out, and before we knew, there were 19 deaths. It made a comeback in 2021, then it was back in 2023, and this time in 2024, Kerala Health Minister Veena George on July 20th confirmed yet another Nipah infection in a 14-year-old boy from Malappuram district. As per sources, a team of doctors from Australia are coming to treat the boy, who is currently on ventilator. George emphasized that precautionary measures have been swiftly initiated in response, and that contact tracing is currently the primary focus of their efforts.
ജില്ലയിൽ നിന്ന് നിപ്പ സസ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്ത 14 വയസ്സുള്ള കുട്ടിയുടെ സാമ്പിൾ ഫലം NIV പൂനെ സ്ഥിരീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അത് നിപ്പ പോസിറ്റീവാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ആ സ്ഥിരീകരണം ലഭിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഇനി ഇതിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള, ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ മീറ്റിങ്ങിന് ശേഷം സൂചിപ്പിച്ചതുപോലെ, ഇതിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള നടപടിക്രമങ്ങൾ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കോൺടാക്ട് ട്രേസിംഗ് വളരെ വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടതാണ്.
Authorities are currently categorizing individuals into low and high risk categories for targeted testing, while priority is being given to testing those identified in the high risk category. The state government had announced recently that a special action calendar was being prepared for the prevention of a Nipah outbreak, which has haunted the state on 4 occasions in the past.
Now, major tragedy struck Kedarnath Yatra as the pilgrims were killed due to this landslide. At least 3 pilgrims were killed and several others injured due to a landslide near the Kedarnath Yatra mark in Chirbasa. Now, the search for other pilgrims on the Yatra continues. Take a look at this report to know more.
A major landslide at Kedarnath Yatra at 7:30 a.m. has tragically killed 3 pilgrims. One person was also injured due to falling of stones from a hill near Kedarnath Yatra Marg, Chirbasa. Search for the other passengers continues. District Disaster Management Officer Nandan Singh Rajwar said that some passengers were reported to be buried under the debris due to soil and heavy stones falling. Rescue team pulled out 3 people from the debris who were found dead, and an injured person was pulled out after giving him first aid. Information is being collected about the 3 deceased persons as to which state and place they had come from to visit Kedarnath. The injured person is being treated after being admitted to the temporary hospital built on the Kedarnath Yatra mark. Teams of NDRF, DDR, YMF administration are engaged in relief and rescue on the spot. As of now, the situation is under control and the route of the yatra has been slightly changed, keeping in view of the relief and rescue operations.
Now, the centre-wise publication of the NEET UG 2024 results has raised fresh concerns over the glaring scoring anomalies, as the number of aspirants scoring over 600 at select centres in Rajasthan and Maharashtra have been found to be way more than the national average. Watch this report.
The centre-wise publication of the NEET UG results has raised fresh questions on the sanctity of the exam's conduct. Over 75 NEET UG aspirants from each exam centre in Rajasthan's Sikar have scored more than 600. At some centres, as many as 150 aspirants scored over 600. A deep dive into the centre-wise results show that the number of NEET aspirants scoring 600 plus in Sikar is way above the national average.
The Central Bureau of Investigation have arrested students who not only belong to the medical field but also from the engineering field who were trying to be a part of this paper solver gang. And in this now, a wide nexus is being exposed of how actually this paper nexus gang was operating. With the Supreme Court directions, the NTA has also revealed the district-wise and center-wise data on the marks that were scored by the students, and this has led to more controversy, with students and petitioners now pointing out that how specific centers in certain districts like Sikar, Latur were being given undue benefits.
At a centre in Aravali Public School, over 90 out of 942 candidates scored over 600 and 7 above 700. Similarly, the percentage of aspirants scoring 550 plus in Maharashtra's Latur is 9.58%, which is way above 6.17% overall. Meanwhile, Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi brought up the NEET concerns at the pre-budget all-party meeting on Sunday. With more anomalies coming to the fore, a lot more needs to be done to restore the students' faith in the country's system to hold exams.
Now, Akhilesh Yadav and Mamata Banerjee shared bonhomie while they were at a rally in Kolkata. Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, and Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav launched scathing attacks against the BJP-led central government. Mamata Banerjee, addressing the rally in Kolkata, asserted that the government is unstable and predicted that its collapse is imminent. Akhilesh Yadav, speaking at the same rally, echoed her sentiments, saying that the NDA government will be falling in no time. Here's a report.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee launched a scathing attack on the BJP-led central government, stating that it is not stable and can collapse anytime. Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, who attended the TMC's Martyrs' Day rally in Kolkata on Banerjee's invitation, said the government will fall sooner or later. Mamata Banerjee congratulated Akhilesh Yadav and slammed the BJP government.
बंगाल का साथ मैं चाहती हूँ हिंदुस्तान का रिलेशन अच्छा हो। अरे शुरुआत हुआ आपका लिए, आपने आके हम लोगों को बहुत हम आपको शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ। हम आपको पार्टी को, समाजवादी पार्टी को पहले अभिनंदन करने चाहूँगी कि यूपी में जो खेल आपने दिखाया, अभी तो बीजेपी को रिज़ाइन करना चाहिए था, लेकिन उसको शर्म कम होता है। आपको थोड़ा से दिन इंतज़ार करने पड़ेगा, लेकिन आपका साथ मैं सहमत हूँ कि दिल्ली में जो गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी लगा के, इलेक्शन कमीशन को लगा के, डरा के जो गवर्नमेंट ले आया, वो स्टेबल गवर्नमेंट नहीं है। कोई भी दिन वो जा सकता है। जैसे कभी धूप आता है, बारिश होता है, उसका बाद ऐसे बहुत दिन हो गया। इनफ इज इनफ।
She also said that their fight will go on.
अपन को मिटा दिया, हम नहीं करेंगे, हम लड़ेंगे और हम ये विश्वास करते हैं रोशनी चाँद से होता है, सितारों से नहीं, मोहब्बत तृणमूल से होता है और किसी से नहीं। खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी राजा क्या है।
Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav also took a jibe at the BJP.
आप लोगों ने मिलकर के यहाँ मुकाबला किया, बीजेपी को हटा दिया, पीछे छोड़ दिया, यूपी भी आपके साथ रह करके पीछे छोड़ दिया। ये जो सत्ता में कुछ दिन के लिए आए हैं, ये कुछ दिन के मेहमान हैं। मैंने लोकसभा में भी कहा और आज भी कहता हूँ, जो दिल्ली में सरकार में बैठे लोग हैं, वो सरकार चलने वाली नहीं है, वो सरकार गिरने वाली है। और हम और आप लोग देखेंगे एक दिन कि यही सरकार गिरेगी और हमारे आपके लिए खुशियों के दिन भी आएंगे।
Mamata Banerjee went on to speak about the composition of women MPs in the Trinamool Congress.
গোলাবা ইলেকশনেও জিতিয়েছেন, এমপি ইলেকশনের সাথে সাথে আজকে গর্ব করে আমি মা মাটি মানুষকে কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাচ্ছি। মনে রাখবেন, বাংলা একমাত্র জায়গা যেখানে আমাদের ইলেক্টেড মেম্বার হচ্ছে পার্লামেন্টে 38%।
The BJP said that the TMC should introspect on the authoritarian underpinning that's shaping the political landscape in Bengal.
It's ironical that the left parties today are in alliance with the TMC in the Indie bloc. But today should be not just a remembrance day for the martyrs, but an introspection day for TMC. Because today TMC has become even more repressive, more authoritarian, and more violent than the left regime of 34 years of West Bengal. In fact, today the manner in which Ma Mati Manush has been replaced by Bhashtachari Bachao, Balatkari Bachao, Bum Blast Karne Wale Ko Bachao. Whether it's Sandesh Khali, whether it's Uttar Dinajpur, whether it's Howrah, and all of these actions against women have been justified and defended by no less than Mamata Banerjee. And therefore today it should be a day of introspection, not just a day of remembrance.
As tensions escalate and alliances strengthen, will Mamata Banerjee and Akhilesh Yadav's bold assertions pave the way for a significant shift in India's political landscape?
Now, the Yogi government's diktat to eatery owners to display nameplates for the Kanwar Yatra route has drawn a derisive jibe from the NDA ally. In fact, another NDA ally, after Chirag Paswan's Jayant Chaudhary, who is criticizing this move, the RLD chief says that no one considers religion or caste when it comes to accepting service at the eateries. In fact, he has urged the Yogi government to reconsider this decision. What's the report for more?
Amid the firestorm over protests over the Yogi government's diktat to eatery owners for Kanwar Yatra, Jayant Chaudhary has put the NDA in a spot. Speaking to media persons, Jayant says service at eateries should not be viewed through the prism of religion or caste. The RLD chief adds that no one accepts service on the basis of religious considerations, as people across faiths cater to Kanwar pilgrims. While the UP government has defended the order, Jayant says the Yogi regime still has time to pull it back.
इस इशू पे हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष बोल चुके हैं, वही पार्टी का स्टैंड है। और जो कावड़ लेके जाते हैं उनकी सेवा में सभी लोग लगते हैं। ना तो कावड़ लेके जाने वाला व्यक्ति कोई पहचान करता है, जो सेवादार है उनकी वो एक आशीर्वाद की तरह वो प्राप्त करते हैं, ग्रहण करते हैं और आगे चलते हैं अपने काम। कोई इस हिसाब से जाति या धर्म के पहचान करके सेवा नहीं लेता और ना ही इस मामले को धर्म जाति से जोड़ा जाना चाहिए।
He adds that the Yogi government is adamant on not revoking the order, as a decision on it has already been taken. Several top opposition leaders have already come out against the order, calling it a divisive and unconstitutional one.
कोई सरकार संविधान के खिलाफ ऑर्डर पास करती है तो भारत सरकार को उसका नोट लेना चाहिए, उनके पास अख्तियार है। ये इस तरह से जो ऑर्डर निकालकर आर्टिकल 17 का वायलेशन है संविधान का, अनटचेबिलिटी को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, राइट टू लाइफ के खिलाफ है, आप लाइवलीहुड के खिलाफ है, आर्टिकल 19 के खिलाफ है। और ये आप होते कौन है भाई? तो ये सिर्फ नफरत की निशानी है मुसलमानों के खिलाफ, खुली डिस्क्रिमिनेशन किए जा रही, अपार्थाइड है, ये तो क्लियर कट अपार्थाइड है। और हम विकसित भारत की बात कर रहे हैं या फिर हिटलर की भारत की बात कर रहे हैं?
With Jayant now coming out openly against the UP government's nameplate order, one has to wait and watch if Yogi blinks and bites the bullet.
Army Chief General Upen Dwivedi met with the Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha today to discuss the prevailing security dynamics in the region. General Dwivedi assured the Lieutenant Governor of a synergistic approach by the armed forces and security agencies to tackle the current situation and maintain peace and stability. He also chaired a high-level joint security review meeting in Jammu, focusing on thwarting the designs of terrorists and anti-national elements. Bathinda police have arrested 3 drug smugglers and recovered 1.5 kilograms of heroin, marking a significant crackdown on drug trafficking in the region. The operation highlights the ongoing efforts to combat drug-related crimes in Punjab.
ये बठिंडा शहर के अंदर हमारे जो है एसपी सिटी, डीएसपी सिटी 1, एसएचओ कनाल, इनकी टीम का इनपुट था। इसमें पीसीआर का भी इनपुट रहा। तो इन्होंने जो है एक नशा तस्कर, नशा बेचने वाला जो व्यक्ति है तरसेम सिंह उर्फ सोमा, उसको गिरफ्तार किया है। उसके साथ ही करणप्रीत सिंह को गिरफ्तार किया और इनसे जो है 1 किलो 5 ग्राम हेरोइन बरामद की गई है, 2 कार्स बरामद की गई हैं और 2,65,000 रुपए का ड्रग मनी भी बरामद किया गया।
Authorities in Kerala are taking preventive steps after the death of a 14-year-old boy from Nipah virus and the identification of 60 people in the high-risk category, as per the state's health minister. Now, Nipah is classified as a priority pathogen by the World Health Organization because of its potential to trigger an epidemic. Reacting to rumours about the DMK minister Udayanidhi Stalin potentially being appointed as Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister, AIADMK leader D. Jayakumar remarked that Udayanidhi's only qualification is being the son of MK Stalin. Jayakumar went on to say that Udayanidhi is the de facto Chief Minister, questioning why Stalin cannot appoint one of the senior members in the party. Instead, he goes on to label the situation as dynasty politics.
Naturally, qualification should be the qualification to Udayanidhi, that too the son of the Mr. Stalin. That is the main qualification. No other qualifications.
Now, with the rising street protest in India's neighborhood, that is in Bangladesh, the Supreme Court of Bangladesh scaled back the contentious job quotas that stoked civilian unrest. Republic TV spoke to Bangladesh's law minister to get his first reaction on the court's verdict. Watch this report to know the latest.
Amid mounting unrest, Bangladesh Supreme Court has passed a key verdict scaling back the job quotas. The Attorney General, however, says that 5% civil service jobs would be reserved for the children of war veterans. Another 2% jobs in the civil service will be reserved for other categories entitled to quotas. The verdict comes in the backdrop of violent student protests with the law enforcers struggling to restore order. Republic also spoke to the Bangladesh Law Minister Asinul Haq. Listen into the first reaction of the Bangladesh Law Minister on the Supreme Court's verdict.
সুপ্রিম কোর্টের যে রায়টা, যুগান্তকারী রায়টা, সেটার বিষয়ে আপনার একটু প্রতিক্রিয়া চাইছিলাম।
আমি তো বেলা 4টার সময় প্রেস কনফারেন্স দেখেছি, আমি তো আমার প্রতিক্রিয়া দেব।
হ্যাঁ, ওটাতেই আমরা ভারতে এটা নিয়ে খুব বড় রায় এবং যেভাবে আপনারা এই পুরো ব্যাপারটাকে ট্যাকল করছেন সেটা নিয়ে যদি একটু প্রথম প্রতিক্রিয়া দিতেন রিপাবলিক বাংলাকে।
না, ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে আমি এখন অর্ডারটা আমার অফিসে যাচ্ছি, আমি অর্ডারটা ওখানে পেয়েছি, আমি অর্ডারটা পড়ব। আমি অর্ডারটা পড়ে আমি যতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত না বুঝবো কি অর্ডার দিয়েছে আমি ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত বুক খুলবো না। আমার অর্ডারটা পড়তে হবে, অর্ডারটা পড়ার পরে আমি এই অর্ডারটার ব্যাখ্যা বুঝে আমার প্রতিক্রিয়া।
Earlier, a shoot-at-sight order was given to the police